What's up? I don't know how you guys do it. Sometimes it seems like you guys beat me here. How's it going, guys? Oh, it's going. Let's move this over here. Move that over there. What's up, Buckmaster? How you doing, Colton? The house is not coming. Seems like every week we're working on something else or something more. The house is actually coming together pretty good. We just got the tub in. All right. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten much of a chance to try the rock bucket yet. I've kind of been busy with the stuff at the house. It's kind of why I'm doing the live stream, is because we should have had a video come out today, but I've been so busy that I haven't had time to shoot a video or edit it. So you just got a notification. How Farms Work is live now. BRB, I'm going to go check it out. It's not a very nice thing to say, Bluegill Slayer. I actually just shot a video today, as a matter of fact, on the bottle calves. What's up, Brady? We had right around 100 calves. If I wanted to start my own farm, how should I go about doing it? Establish a land to work with first. It depends on how much working capital you got to work with. Then, I mean, if you don't really have anything to start with, I recommend going and working for someone else to get the ins and outs of it, and then maybe working into it. We've never considered really doing anything other than like for the crops. We've never really considered doing anything other than corn and soybeans. The reason being is because, well, we're already equipped to raise those crops, so there's no reason to start raising other ones like rice, because from what I know, rice is a fairly specialized crop when you go to raise it. So we're not really set up to harvest rice. I don't know how much land is going around us, but it's not cheap because everybody wants land around here. Haven't decided on any purchases yet. Just kind of letting things play. So the bottle calves are off of bottles now. I'm not sure if I've told you guys this, but we've actually just weaned them off not that long ago. And in today's video that I just made, in the video I made today, I showed like what we have to do for chores for feeding them and stuff. So no, you're fine. Jamie's painting the living room, so I figured I'd do a live stream because I didn't get a video out today because I've been so busy and I haven't had time to put one together. So winter's going pretty good. We are going to get the rock bucket. We're going to keep it. At least that's the plan. Alan, in our area, we typically can't start planting corn or beans, or at least corn, until April 15th. That's the insurance cutoff date. So the big thing that keeps us from planting any earlier is insurance. If you plant earlier than April 15th, they will not cover it if it gets frosted over. So farmers usually wait until after the 15th just in case we do get a freak frost. Yes, Jamie's my girlfriend. Creekside Dairy Vlogs. Welcome to the channel. Use the rock bucket to haul calves around. Yeah. What do we do before we plant? So what we're going to do when we start pulling into the field, well, firstly, we got to start putting down anhydrous. We didn't get all of our anhydrous put down last fall. They're not that many acres, but we are thinking we might have WS put down the anhydrous for us, considering that there's only a couple dozen acres to do. So rather than having us go through and hook up the anhydrous bar, we might just have them bring down their case, and they might put it down themselves, which would be interesting because then I could get some field footage of a case putting down anhydrous. That would be pretty cool. But after we put down the anhydrous, before we go to plant, we have to, I don't know how much needs to be chiseled yet. We have to go through, chisel the corn ground that needs to be chiseled. Then before we go through and plant, we will disc either once or twice, or I don't know how much we're going to be using the VT this spring. We have to see what kind of a job it does. But once we disc everything down and it's nice and soft, we got a nice seed bed there, then we'll go through and plant. And then once we're done planting the corn, then we start planting the beans. Then once we're done planting the beans, we go over and we harrow the beans to level off the ground. So that way when we come along with the bean head, there aren't any dirt chunks that get into the combine head. So Wes isn't posting because he's in the Philippines. Do I think corn and bean prices are going to go up this year? Yes. Have you been watching prices lately? Prices in the last 2 days have gone up like 20 cents, I think. I don't know what they're doing overnight, but yesterday they were up like 15 midday, and then they dropped down to up 11. And then today I think they closed up like 8. So corn prices going up. Beans probably are too. I really haven't been watching the beans quite as closely. I should be, but considering I have more bean acres this year than corn. I prefer corn, personally. But this last year has made me like beans. I was worried about it being a drought for a while. However, we have been getting quite a bit of moisture. We've gotten snow this morning. It's mostly melted, but at least we did get some precipitation. So, Landon. Usually we'll start hay right around June 1st. I know that some people get out there earlier, but usually our first date for getting out there has always traditionally been like right around the 1st. Last year, I saw a dairy farmer start cutting his hay early May, which if you get enough growth there, you can cut it off, but we usually let it grow up thick and then cut it. It's too wet right now to even consider spring tillage. Especially with the Earthmaster, it can't be very wet at all when you go out there with the Earthmaster, so we haven't really considered it at all. Though Dad said he did see someone doing tillage out in the field the other day. What's the best type of crop in your area? Corn and beans? If that's what you mean by best type of crop. That's what I prefer. Yes, Landon, I'm talking to you.
Shh, come here.
What do you do when cows die? Very good question, Cameron. So we did this a lot when we had the dairy cattle because you did see higher death loss when when we were doing dairy. When you have death loss on your farm, what you do is you put them out somewhere out where a truck can get to it. Then there's a company that you can call up. The last I knew they were called 5 Star. I don't know if they've changed hands or whatever, but they used to just come around and pick up your carcasses for free because what they would do with the dead animals is they would use them for like dog food and like stuff like that, small animal food. And then for a while, I think they switched it over so that you had to pay either 25 or $50 whenever they came out to your farm. I think government regulators told the company that you can't be using it for um, animal food anymore. Well, what happened was is that after they did that, farmers stopped calling in their death loss because why? For farmers, even though you're not supposed to do it, why call a company to come pick up your dead animals when you can just drag them out into the pasture and let nature take its course, which is what you're not supposed to do, but it's what farmers were doing. So what they do now, I think, is I don't. Travis actually talked about this the other day. It might be any animals 50 pounds, over 50 pounds. Might be over 50 pounds. Um, they'll come and get for free. But any smaller animals like calves, I think you still might have to pay that fee. So, and that's the thing about putting them out in the field. The reason that they don't want you to do that is because it does feed the coyotes and it's considered unsanitary and, you know. But how often do the cows out on pasture die and then you don't know where they're at until the end of the year and you realize that you're missing a couple and by then it's too late. They're probably already gone. So we haven't gotten a lot of snow. You typically spray burn down right before you go through and start planting. You put it down with 28. Actually, 28 is a burn down because it burns whatever is there. However, it doesn't kill anything that's below the soil. So I don't know if they do it or not. I'm pretty sure that you can go through and plant, and then they'll like within a day they'll still go through and spray burn down. But I mean, if there's any chances of the seed coming up, they don't want to because they don't want to kill it. So I'd like to demo a new John Deere combine. David, I will start to try to show more of the maintenance stuff like that. The thing is that Travis has just kind of been changing the oil of the tractors one at a time whenever he gets extra free time. And usually when he gets that free time, Dad and I are out here working with the house, so I haven't been able to get any of that stuff. So, like I said, this past month, and it's going to be like this until we start field work. We've been pretty busy. No, I haven't made up my mind. We don't cut firewood. I use wood pellets in the basement. Haven't really much this year because it's been so docile. I mean, the weather hasn't been that bad. Sounds like Jesse's here. I don't live in Iowa, Bryce. I live in Wisconsin. 7,600 hours. Yes. Yeah, something like 2,4-D. If you're going to do a burn down, you do want to spend some more time waiting. But with 28, I don't think the wait there is quite as long. Congrats, David. I haven't heard of Sassy Cow Creamery.
I have.
Have you? Jamie has. How have you heard about it?
I think Facebook or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bryce, we live in Wisconsin, southwestern corner. What's up, SA?
What's up?
He's going to hate me for this. Come here. Come here, buddy.
Why didn't you do that? It's amazing.
Because Rocket's a lapdog.
What? No, he's not.
Yeah, he is. Gosh. Say hi to the camera, Rocket. All right. Let's answer some questions, should we? Yes, I really would have liked it 49.60. Alan, we typically do not butcher our cattle. We do tend to butcher maybe one a year for ourselves, but other than that, we don't really butcher a lot. So. Booty, 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 booty. You're spoiled, you know that? TJ, the reason I tag my cattle with 2 numbers is because when I go to let them out to pasture, they typically will sometimes lose a tag. So I tag them with 2 because it's just easier that way, especially when they're in with Dad's cattle. If they lose one, then they'll still have the other one, and I know that they're mine. What's the matter, Rocket? We don't know what our next tractor is going to be. I think right now we're just going to leave it go as, or keep going as it is. We've only been streaming for about 15 minutes. It's okay, buddy. Mwah. I really like the New Holland skid steer. It was nice. It's kind of a downgrade going back to the Bobcat, but even Travis said that today. What's that? Hopefully I don't ban the wrong person. If I do, I'm sorry.
Here, I'm on it right now, so I'll start.
Okay. Yeah, it just totally froze up for me, so. Rocket does shed a little bit. Not real bad. Actually, he does shed pretty bad, but usually he stays in places where it's not much of an issue. So. Last I knew, the 7600 had about 7,000. I say, want to grab a chair?
Sure.
It's up to you. Not much of a Cummins guy. I like Duramax. Eric, we traditionally do rotate corn and beans. I set you down there, Rocket. Sometimes we'll do corn on corn, and we really do not try to do beans on beans because beans on beans do not perform well. It's okay, dude. It's okay. He insists he's got to be right at my feet. I don't know why. It's not a bad thing, though. Yeah. Indiana Farmer, we do not milk anymore. We quit in 2014. Last I knew, the 82 had like 1,600 hours on it. I probably wouldn't restore old tractors for fun. The big reason being I got enough stuff to do. I don't really have a lot of time to restore, to even consider restoring. So, what did you see, Jamie?
Sure, that's for someone else video.
Oh yeah.
This paint is so blotchy.
What's a nice calf to start out with? A Holstein or a Jersey calf? I don't know. Go to the sales barn and get one. Why did we quit milking? The reason we quit milking is because my grandfather passed away. The cows were sold, so we didn't get back into it. We probably won't start tillage at least until the end of the month, I would think.
Oh my god, this guy.
What's your favorite brand of corn and soybean seed? I don't have a favorite brand of soybean seed, but I do have a favorite corn brand, and that is DeKalb. At least right now. Would I ever consider coming to Pennsylvania for Ag Progress Days? If someone flew me out, I probably won't come out on my own.
Dude, I'd go with you.
Jesse would come with me.
I would go.
We could all go.
Why wouldn't I go?
We could all go in my new truck.
Why?
Ooh. Or fly out. I guess that'd be cheaper than getting a truck just to drive out, right? Right. Right.
No truck. Ask them how to paint.
No. How do you till your bean ground? What do you mean? How do I till it? Beans for this year we'll have chiseled last fall. Now that it's chiseled, we'll go through and we will disc it down, and then that'll provide us a nice seed bed. We'll go through, plant it, and then we'll hit it with the harrow. Rocket was born in 2012. That makes him what, 4? 25?
You're normally in Rocket.
He's about 4.5. I haven't bought a truck. Haven't bought a tractor either. How long do your tractor tires last before you get new ones? Well, the tractor tires that were on the 46 were 20 and 21 years old. So, look at my feet. Depends on how much you use the tractor for and what you use it for. But that's the last time that the 46 had its tires replaced. Obviously, we just got the 46 in 2014, so we haven't had it that whole time. I don't know why my computer's going so slow.
You're frozen.
Am I frozen?
Mm-hmm.
Are you on the Wi-Fi? Okay.
Could be me. Let me take mine off.
The optimal pH range for most plants is between 5.5 and 7 pH. I believe corn is probably better right around 6.5. I'm not totally sure about beans. Beans, I don't think they would like acidic quite as much as corn. Well, it says about 6 for beans, so I had to fact check myself. If you could buy a JCB, could you? Okay, Andrew said it's about 6.8 beans. Andrew knows more about that than I do. I haven't studied up any of that stuff since I was in college, so it's been a while. Nice presentation today, Andrew. Travis and I went to a presentation by Andrew, and then we went and did chores this afternoon. David, we have about 1,400 acre farms here in the UK, which is a lot in the UK. Considering knocking down the woods, I would. I wouldn't just bulldoze them. I mean, I'd try to see if you could sell the wood off of them, but I would think you would see more productivity off the ground in the long run if you were to bulldoze it. I don't believe college is a waste. House renovation is still coming along. That's part of the reason why I started this live stream today, is because I wanted to inform you guys that no, I am in fact not dead, because I missed my video today. Usually I upload every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 11 a.m. I don't know, but I like her positivity. Was that mine? What? Oh, that's weird. I would consider getting a Massey Ferguson. I've never driven one, so I can't say anything more about them than anything else. Why isn't college a waste? because you'll learn a lot of stuff in college that you'll learn a lot of information in college that you won't get or you won't see just farming. They say that farming or doing something gives you a different perspective rather than just being thrown information. Like, they say that when you actually get to work in your job field, it's way different. With something like farming, there are just so many aspects to it that it's impossible for you to know everything just by farming yourself. I mean, there are trials and stuff that are done by other people that you can see, and then you can analyze that information when you're going to select your crops for this year and whatever else. Otherwise, if you're not staying up to date on your information, you're just basically putting a blindfold on and throwing an arrow at how your year is going to turn out. So you definitely want to be researching if you're going to be a farmer. I mean, there's no such thing as a dumb farmer in today's economy, in today's world, because all of those people were weeded out many, many years ago. They used to say that everybody could make a living farming, but it's not. I really don't believe that to be true today. I do not have my CDL. I believe we're putting down NK this year through Andrew. I'm pretty sure. When you went to FSA to borrow money, is an accounting and business management, will that help me to be educated for their educational requirement? Depends what you're trying to get at there. If you're trying to work for FSA, if you're trying to be get a loan from them, I don't know what you're trying to say there. If you had unlimited money, what would you buy?
10 trucks.
10 Duramax trucks.
And a house.
And a house. I have never taken a welding class. Is it hard to learn the 8235R computer? Very good question. At first, it can be kind of daunting, but once you get to using the tractor some more and you get to play around with the menus, it's really not that complicated. John Deere just uses really confusing symbols on the Green Star monitor. I mean, like the gear icon isn't like settings, which it should be transmission, but I figured that the gear icon on the arm would bring up the settings menu, but it brings up the transmission, and I don't know. It really shouldn't be that confusing because it's transmission. You'd think it would be a gear. Did you guys look at Trimble versus Ag Leader versus any other for guidance and yield monitoring? We haven't looked at Trimble or the other brands. However, we knew that Ag Leader is a pretty reputable brand. So when Andrew started coming around and he started saying, hey, I actually offer this stuff, we figured why not? Because if we have access to it, we can get some return out of it, which, like I've said, the yield monitor has already paid itself off, so there's no way we're going to be able to start to go back without a yield monitor. It's just not going to happen. If you don't want to be watching, or you think the stream's boring, leave. I really don't care. What?
Calling them out.
Yeah, I'm calling them out.
Yeah, but you're like giving them what they want.
I put them in timeout, so. Let's see. I do watch Wes. The last I knew we weren't getting snow, but I guess now that I think about it, they were.
Night.
Is it tomorrow night now they're
Tomorrow
saying?
night too. Yep.
It didn't even stick tonight, or like today.
Yeah,
No.
around the house it stuck. Did you see that?
Yeah, but like on the roads. It
Yeah.
didn't.
Got like half an
Yeah.
inch, if that.
Yeah, I guess Jesse's right. Um, any thoughts on precision planning like VSET and Delta Force? Haven't looked into it. We've looked into precision planning stuff, but we haven't done too much of that yet. Okay. There was a question that I saw that I want to answer. Would you buy a boat or jet ski? Yes. Yes. Oh, Farm Days done selling tickets. I still am selling tickets for the Farm Day. You can still get them on howfarmswork.com under the Farm Day tab. I'm not promoting the Farm Day really, other than when I'm on the live streams, because of the high response that I saw of when I did promote it. Like right when I first came out with it, I sold a lot of tickets. So there's still quite a few months to go. I want to leave the checkout open, so I don't know. Yes, you can still buy Farm Day tickets if you're still debating on coming. Have I ever heard of Okoboji, Iowa? No. Must not be anywhere near me. When are you guys going to start getting your fields ready for planting? As soon as the ground firms up. The ground right now is terribly, terribly soft. Travis speaking in third person here. I wouldn't buy a Dodge. Favorite tractor is the 46 and the 82. If I could buy any tractor, what would it be? An 8400R and a T7 315. What's the next equipment surprise? I think I've actually talked about this, but we do have 3 more pieces of equipment coming from Rhino. So, do you use insecticide on your crops? Yes, we do. Well, I don't know if we really use that much insecticide. We use force on corn on corn, but we don't really spray much insecticide to my knowledge. We use pesticides. What college would you prefer for ag business? I really liked UW Platteville. However, I have heard that Iowa State offers a good, actually one of the best, if not the best, ag programs out there. So Jesse's representing tonight.
Got the shirt, got the hat.
Oh, and FYI, guys, what's today? Wednesday?
Yep.
On Friday, we are having a clothing sale on our store. You can check it out on Facebook. There will be a link to it. There's another 15% off on everything in the store. So if you want a shirt, I think you can get a shirt for like $13. So it's ridiculously cheap. I usually only advertise on Facebook our clothing when there's sales going on. We do use GMOs. I was never an FFA. We might buy a semi-truck somewhere in the future, however distant future, not anytime soon. I would also like the Challenger new 500 horse tractor. I can't remember the number. Is it just the 1000 series? I don't know. Yes. I think it is too, Jamie.
Hmm?
Do you think dabbing's stupid? Yes.
Yeah, he keeps asking.
Oh, it's the 1050. That's right. Oh, here's a good question. How long would it be for new land to pay itself if you have bought it? That's a very good question. It really depends on your buying price, but I would expect that if you were to buy a farm, you would expect to see your money back out of it within 20 years, or in at least 20 years. So, thanks, Thomas. Thanks for watching. We actually just got an offer from a company for a new stock trailer, and I don't know if we're going to be seeing anything out of it or if we're going to follow through with it. I don't know. It's still in the talking process, but someone just contacted me about that. How long will it take to pay off a brand new tractor? Depends on a lot of things. How many acres you're running, what your profit margin is. Usually, you try to aim to pay off those kind of purchases within 10 years. Thanks for watching, Ronald. Gavin, we are planting corn and soybeans with hay. You are kind of skipping mine. Sorry, Bryce. I probably won't make my videos much longer because people get bored. We used to do more silage ourselves, but since our chopper was sold in 2014 on the farm sale, we haven't invested in a new one. However, we might be looking to get into that in the future again sometime. Can you actually make buying land pay in your area? Land going for 14,000 acre only get around 200 bushels the acre. Very tough at $4 corn. Yes, that's why I said that usually you see a return in about over 20 years. So, good night, Jacob. What other animals would you consider buying? None. Really?
Pigs.
No. I wouldn't consider buying pigs. Are you going to be doing a fourth cutting for hay? I think so. Depends. Thanks for watching, Calvin. We are probably going to stick with the Moco. The reason being is that mower is in really good condition for what it is and the price that we got it. There's really no big reason for us to change up because that thing is still in pretty pristine condition. If we were going to start chopping our own silage, we would probably get a pull type. Why do you run the harrow after you plant beans? We run the harrow because we're trying to flatten out the ground so that when we come along with the soybean head it follows the contours of the ground. So you lay it down and then it runs along the ground and it bends with the hills. So you might have a higher spot here and a lower spot on the sides. The head will sit like this over the ground, but only to a certain extent. So you don't want like small ridges of dirt because since it travels so close to the ground, if you have any like odd ridges, sometimes the dirt will go into the bean head, and then you have to get out and you have to dig it out, and then it delays you. So if you were to get a new tractor, would you get one with a loader or not? It depends on the size of the tractor. If I got a 4960, I would not want to get a loader with it. If I got like a 7430, then I would want to get a loader with it. What are some courses to take to be a farmer like you? Ag classes. Doesn't really matter what they are. I recommend like ag marketing, plant nutrient management, stuff like that. Soil and crop science. What do you like most about farming? Being my own boss. Is leasing out your land to corporate agribusiness an option as an alternate income or more profitable? As a farmer, from a farmer standpoint, that really isn't an option. However, as a landowner, that would be an option. I am not a landowner, so for me that wouldn't be an option. But if our parents ever decided to throw in the towel and Travis and I weren't interested, which we are, that would be an option that they would look at to lease out to other farmers. I really don't like the looks of chrome stacks on tractors, to be honest. I think they're dumb. Do you like working late or no? Yes. I like working at night. How many new horsepower was the New Holland L228? Chad would probably answer that question best, but I'm going to guess around 78 horsepower? I don't know. Is crop dusting popular up there? It is all over South USA. Yes, it is pretty popular for fungicide. However, we don't really do that because of our size. Our farm sizes are small. Usually they require that you have a minimum number of acres to do crop dusting. So I'm at my place. We are in southwestern Wisconsin. Would you ever sell your grain carts and buy one 2 times the size? Adam, probably not. I've actually thought about that as far as like trading in both of our grain carts for one larger one. It would be nice. However, having 2 grain carts gives us more flexibility um, if we're working like at the main farm, because if we have 2 grain carts, we can always have a tractor at the combine. However, if we have one large one, we'll have a tractor just sitting there, not moving, between when the combine is filling up until the grain cart's full. And then once we need to go unload, then we'll take it back to the buildings, and then we'll unload. And then by the time it takes to go back and forth, the combine is sitting there. So at the main farm, it's kind of nice having 2 grain carts because you can always ensure that someone is there for the combine, which makes harvesting the main farm a lot faster. I'm sorry, Matthew. What's your powerful tractor? The 8235R. Me too. All right. Thanks, Chevy Lover. Do you guys spray and fertilize your own land, or do you have the co-op do it? We custom hire that done from the co-op. If you had a better setup and equipment to maintain the dairy operation, would you have kept... We wouldn't have kept the cows. Keeping the cows wasn't an option, but would we have gone back into dairy if we had a better setup? That is a very good question. No one's asked me a question like that yet. That's up for debate. We might have bought back into it, even though we really don't like it. But if we had the option there, and it looked profitable, we might have. But I'm kind of glad that we don't have a nicer operation, because then we don't have to. I wouldn't be able to do the whole YouTube thing if we were still dairy farmers, because there just isn't enough time to do both YouTube and be a dairy farmer, because dairy farming takes up your life. It really does. Unless you cheat and hire it out, but that's really not being an entirely family operation then, is it? Would you consider having a spare grain trailer sitting during harvest so you could fill it and the driver could swap out trailers instead of having to wait for you to fill his? We do that sometimes with our wagons. If we're waiting on a semi, sometimes... this was kind of banished this year because I bought that grain cart, so we really didn't need to do it. But in the past, we did have grain wagons that we would bring and we would unhook at the farm that we were working at, so that way we had more storage in the field. But since we have that new grain cart, it's really taken down on the amount of messing around that we've done. I mean, we don't spend near as much time fiddling around during harvest as we have in the past. We had a farm sale because my grandfather passed away. And it wasn't our option. We didn't have a choice. I did get a new drone. It is the DJI Mavic. It is not the same as the last one. I regret buying it. The reason being is because it's too small. It is nice, though, that I can just throw it in my pocket, which is a big plus of it, I guess. Have you considered rebuilding the bottle calf building and individual bins? Considered it. Anytime soon will we do that? Probably not. What are you guys going to buy next on the farm? If there's any big purchase, it's probably going to be... I actually really don't know. Now that I really think about it. well, Travis and I were talking about it today. The biggest constraint that we have right now is the combine and the 6-row head. Um, if we had something to get us moving faster, that would be a lot nicer because planting, now that we have a 12-row planter, just flies by, but we still have a 6-row head. Sales for the farm day have been going really good. I've hardly promoted the farm day other than on live streams. So the reason being is because I don't really want to push it too heavily because I still want. And yes, Andrew, next big purchase technology. I was thinking of like equipment, like large equipment. Um, but I had a really positive response for the farm day tickets, so I'm holding off on really starting the promotions for them. Those who are aware of it can start planning, and then as the days come closer, I want to leave the checkout open because not everybody will know that they can come until closer to the event. So, would you get an 8-row head? No, the reason being is that we wouldn't get an 8-row head unless we had a 16-row planter. We have a 12-row right now, so we either have to have a 6-row head or a 12-row head. If we upgrade to a 16-row planter, then we could go an 8-row. I would buy a Fendt. I would consider solar panels. I will probably not be at the half century of progress in August. Got enough going on, prepping for the farm day and stuff. You know. What technology would you like to add to your farming operation next? Definitely like the Ag Leader GPS stuff that we're currently working on with Andrew. PC Gamer, can you see my message? Yes, I can. Grow your beard longer? Oh no,
Yes.
no. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
Do it.
Ugh. We will be doing more drone videos. I've actually been considering taking the drone out and doing a flyover of Travis's place because we really haven't done a drone video down at his place yet. So, why did you choose farming rather than getting a job in town or something with a degree? Because I really did not like the idea of working for a company to, I don't know. The way I look at it is if I have the option to farm, I might as well farm because I don't want to work for someone to help their business along when I can work on my own thing, you know? Yeah, I got the drone right here. Here's the drone. Pretty small. I can fit it in my sweatshirt pocket. You know, DJI should probably give me some commission because I'm pretty sure I have been a pretty big reason for like drone sales in the farming industry. I really do. Because you know how many people come to me and say, "Oh, we saw your videos, so we had to go and get a drone." I get that all the time. Master of everything. How farms work. Seeing you answer the same question every stream. Exactly. That's what I keep saying. Can you do a live stream story time some night to change it up? Oh, a story time. That's not a bad idea. I guess rather than just answering questions, I could just talk and not really answer questions. I guess I could do that. Not tonight, but I'll have to think on that some more. Oh, Gavin. Would you ever consider buying a sprayer? Probably not, because we like that if someone else messes up, we're not at fault. I would like to try Massey. Have you considered incorporating so you won't lose everything if one person dies? The farms are under an LLC, so we've already, like my parents have already handled succession planning and everything. I'm an FFA and I'm doing a speech contest. I was planning on doing the negative portrayals of farmers by the media. Do you think this is a good topic? Yeah, I do. Because there's a lot of negative connotations surrounding the word farmer these days, especially with GMO and organics and all that other fun stuff, pesticides. What don't I like about the Mavic drone? It's small, it's unstable, it's slow. The gimbal does not work very efficiently in cold weather. Other than that, it's pretty good. I actually did do a playing Farming Simulator 17 video. I just haven't gotten around to making it. The aux beam lights are holding up well. Here's a story time. I actually remember my first live stream, and I don't know if I've ever said this on a live stream or not, but my very first live stream was probably when I only had like 500 subscribers, and I saw that my account was enabled for live streaming, so I wanted to try it out. What are you looking at me like that for?
I just want to hear the story.
Jamie's giving me like this, like.
Just am interested in the story.
I've told you this story.
I haven't.
I have.
You don't tell me anything.
My very first live stream was with, I think I talked to like 2 or 3 people that joined the live stream, and I know I was a big shot. I just wanted to see like what it was like to live stream and just to talk to people who subscribed to me, and I asked them like why they watch me, and the one guy told me that he really enjoyed seeing how farming is done in the United States, and it's so different from where he is from, which was the UK. And I thought that was pretty interesting, which kind of gave me more encouragement to keep going because it showed people how farms work. And that might have been before I had even come up with how farms work, because I don't think I came up with how farms work until I had about 500 subscribers. I don't know. You guys don't do no-till? We do a lot of no-till. Jamie's over there if that's what you're asking about. Look at my face. It's always the most god-awful picture of me. What? Are you mad, Rocket? Are you mad? No, he won't answer it since he skipped it 10 times. I don't know what...
Well, we can't answer it if you don't tell us.
Yeah, I don't know what you're trying... I read it, didn't I? Why so much tilling? Because tilled ground performs better than no-till ground. I've seen it. But it really depends on your soil types. I say that no-till ground around here, or at least on our farms, does not perform as well as tilled ground. The reason being is because I think that a lot of our ground is heavier clay. So if you do no-till on rockier ground where there's more rock, looser soil, it's probably a better idea, or more like sandy soil. The reason being is because you want to hold moisture back in the soil, and if you till, you start to lose moisture. Can you explain why you still farm contours? Because it's traditionally to prevent erosion, and we like the look of the contours, so we figured why not just leave them in instead of doing all corn at one farm and then all beans at another farm. I mean, how many people are you expecting at your farm day? Right now, I have sold over 150 tickets. I haven't counted them in like 2 weeks, but it's over 150 right now, and I'm planning for around 200. And once I start promoting the farm day, I wouldn't like to see more than 400. I really wouldn't, but you never know. I would be happy with 150. I really would. We do use seed firmers. I could do a cold start on all the tractors. I don't really like to do those very often because it does seem kind of hard on them. I don't know.
Do you like your girlfriend?
It's a tough question.
Debatable.
It's debatable. I have a degree in agribusiness with a minor in soil and crop science. So what I learned was accounting, and I learned ag marketing, all that other fun stuff with like business management, farm management, those kinds of things. Those were the kinds of classes I took for my major, and then for my minor, I took like soil science, soils, plant and crop science, where I went out and learned a bunch of the different weeds, and that was actually a pretty big class in learning what's what. I mean, it was kind of weird. Like, if you guys have ever seen The Hangover, where Zach Galifianakis is like thinking in his head, like I think it's like during the scene where he's at the casino, yeah, and he's running the numbers in his head, like all the things are like up on the screen. That's what I felt like after I had finished my plant sciences class, because I went out and I learned like what every single plant was that is around here. So like I could look at the road banks and I could be like, I know every single one of these weeds. And now I couldn't tell you, but
When we first started dating, we would drive and you'd be like, "Oh, that in the ditch is this," and I'm like,
yeah.
"Okay."
Yeah. I used to point out to Jamie all the time. She has no idea like what I would say, but too much talking? There's no such thing as too much talking. This is a live stream. It's what talking's for. I'm here to answer your questions. I would like to demo a quad track. When are we gonna eat? Start making food. 7:30. Start making food. How many years do you plan on staying on farming? Are you putting away to retire? Not right now.
I'm great.
Start making food.
You don't want to help me?
No.
No.
We are still feeding some silage to our cattle. I graduated from UW Platteville.
I answered this guy's question and he's still asking.
Why don't you buy a grain truck? Well, I don't see a use for one right now, especially since we can just hire it done, and we'd probably be paying the same amount if we ended up buying a truck. We'd have to pay someone to run the truck, or one of us would have to do it. And for me, with how farms work, I don't really like the idea of one of us always being on the truck. So. Adam, I would still like to buy a truck. Gleaner combines, are they silver, cedars, or excellent innovative machines? I've heard a lot of positive things about Gleaner combines. Jared, says that you can haul semi yourself cheaper. Yes, however, I've weighed the cost of getting a semi, and yeah, it would be nice to get one sometime in the future, but for right now, especially when there's already so much other stuff for us to buy, why make the next thing a semi when we've always used a semi to haul our crops down to be sold, and it's really not that. What?
How are we ever going to have solutions?
It's not working? No, I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm not.
You're going to start putting in hydrous down next week? Depends how far south you are. Up here, that would be crazy. This is Jesse. How do you easily fix your clay soil? What's wrong with it? What do I think about IVT transmissions? I think they're nice. I mean, I've used the CVT that New Holland has, so I liked it. They're good for road travel and doing lighter tasks. I don't really think they're as well suited for like heavy tillage and stuff like that, because with tillage you want to have more control over your ranges. I mean, you want to get maximum torque. So with CVT or IVT, they say that you need a tractor with more horsepower because the IVT sucks up so much of your torque. Okay. What do I actually own? The trailer, or the stock trailer. The grain cart I just bought last year. Don't own all of the Rhino and Earthmaster stuff yet, but sometime in the future. That bucket's going to be mine. Alexis, I would not become a dairy farmer again. Have you ever thought of getting one of the bigger gravity boxes like Parker or Brent, like the kind that you park in the edge of the field? We've seen them, but we haven't really considered buying one. We haven't had our seed delivered yet. We don't moldboard plow. Dad did back in the day, but that's kind of like an older thing around here. Nobody really does that too much, except for like Amish and Mennonite. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna call this live stream to a close. I plan on doing it for around an hour. It's been about an hour and 2 minutes, so I think we're gonna call her good for the night. Again, if you're interested in coming to the farm day, howfarmswork.com, farm day tab. Keep in mind that we are having a clothing sale starting on Friday, 15% off everything in the store. The code will be on Facebook, so watch out for that. And we're going to call her quits for the night. So thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.